It's 6 o'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please call the roll.
McCaig. Wertz.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
Rust.
Here.
Trent. Here. Griffin. Oh, she's not here, I'm sorry. Ware.
Here.
Campbell.
Here. I'd like to do the Pledge of Allegiance. Now is time for public comment. Do we have anyone wishing to address the board? The format for the board is everyone is given 3 minutes to address the board.
Hi, I'm Coral Kimball, and I am in the math department here at Lewis & Clark. And Dwight, I just wanted to let you know that when I found out that you were voted in as the chairman of the board, it brought joy to my heart. Over the past several years, I have said many times that you are the voice of reason on the board. And I am so excited to see how your leadership is going to impact Lewis & Clark. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Roberta Brown, Bobby Brown. I'm program coordinator in the dental hygiene program. Also, congratulations to all the new board members and officers. Last month, I attended the Higher Learning Commission session on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and at that meeting, the head of the HLC site team made some comments regarding our proposed DEI blueprint. He said that as a member of an indigenous community, the land acknowledgement statement made him feel seen and heard, and he complimented our campus team and Maya Lawrence in particular on a very comprehensive and meaningful document. In addition, he had discussed the following. The approval process had hit a rough spot due to board pushback and repeated removal from the agenda. We should move forward, get the document on the next board agenda, this one. The document's important, it's foundational for the work LC is doing. We should not expect a unanimous decision, but it was important to get a vote, and in his opinion, the time was right. We all clapped our agreement and left feeling confident that the item would stay on the agenda this time and be voted on, but sadly that's not what has happened. And I'm sure there were reasons that seemed valid to those involved on why the vote on the blueprint was removed from the agenda. I would just like to point out that this document has been in its final form for many months, and it looks bad when we talk the talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion on our campus, but we're not walking the walk of making it a reality. Members of diverse communities, people who cannot or may not be able to speak for themselves, are watching us. They're watching us fail right now to approve this document. I'm a program coordinator for the dental hygiene program, and our accrediting body and our professional education association both have outlined areas within the program for DEI to be centered. I have with me a document from the American Dental Education Association that is a checklist for promotion of DEI on our campus and in our program. It's 15 pages long. It begins with, does your strategic plan include goals and objectives that support diversity, equity, and inclusion in the following areas? And lists them. My point is that programs need to have the blueprint as a foundational document. I will be using the blueprint in my program as evidence that this institution has a strong foundation in diversity, equity, and inclusion. I will be using it to guide principles that we teach students as they prepare to enter a diverse workforce and provide oral health care for diverse populations. I respectfully request that the board put the DEI blueprint back on the agenda at the next meeting and bring it to a vote. There's important work to be done. Diversity is good for all of us, and we are better together. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Debbie Witskin. I'm a faculty member at Lewis & Clark, a parent of a student at Lewis & Clark, and a taxpayer in the district. First, I'd like to welcome our newest board members, Brian Campbell, and thank him and Jill Griffin for accepting the challenge of serving this great place for the next 6 years. I feel confident we will continue to move forward. Second, I want to congratulate Dwight Wertz on his new role as chairman of the Board of Trustees. Dwight, you have been steadfast in your support for all things Lewis and Clark for 14 years, and you are still willing to do whatever is necessary in this great place to pave a better future for all of us. So thank you for your commitment and willingness to stick with us through the hard stuff. I know your leadership will help us reach our vision that's set forth at Lewis and Clark. Third, I want to also take a moment and share my support for the DEI blueprint. This item was developed, it's been dissected, evaluated, and concessions have been made to create a blueprint and a plan that we can all be proud of. The DEI blueprint provides information, opportunities for training and education, along with action items to help all of us understand and connect on a deeper level with each other here at Lewis and Clark. It should be the goal of all of us to make sure everyone at Lewis and Clark, including all team members and students, feel a sense of belonging here. We need to acknowledge the past to prepare and live for a better future. At Lewis and Clark, this starts with living our core values every day. The DEI blueprint supports our values of being student-focused, demonstrating integrity and responsibility, valuing people, valuing diversity and inclusion, and building community relationships. As trailblazers, we need to be an example, role models for each other and for our students in our community. As board members, you are leaders and advocates for our campus. The lack of visible support on this document is disappointing. The objectives of the DEI blueprint include implementing shared definitions of diversity, equity, and inclusive excellence, increasing DEI-related communication, training, and professional development, strengthening recruitment, hiring, onboarding, and retention practices, which address and advance DEI, working towards and eliminating student equity gaps, and building capacity for all team members to prioritize DEI work. This next part I'm sharing was taken directly from our Higher Learning Commission final report. It was recently shared with team members in regards to Component 2C, the governing board, in quotes. One vital document, however, has not been approved by the Board of Trustees. The Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusive Excellence authored the college's Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Blueprint. During the creation of this document, multiple feedback opportunities existed, and feedback was sought from the Board of Trustees multiple times. Unfortunately, this document has not been approved by the Board of Trustees, owing to a couple of board members' objections to this plan. In conversations with the president and other team members, there is an ongoing effort to put this on the Board of Trustees agenda and move for the adoption of this plan. And beyond the HLC, that was the end of that quote. Beyond HLC, is my time up? Okay, it's in my accreditation standards too, thank you.
Hello, I'm Gerald Mosher, I'm professor of philosophy for 25 years here at Lewis and Clark. I'm also a member of the community in the college district, and I speak in all my roles as a citizen and as a faculty member and so forth. And I have some questions for you. What would it mean when an institution hires a highly qualified individual to do a job? They do the job, but then the institution refuses to accept his or her work. What would it mean when an institution proclaims it is committed to respecting all people and to eliminating discrimination, bigotry, and prejudice in the workplace and in its society at large, but refuse to endorse a simple blueprint of how to go about it? What does it mean when a person believes that a policy against burglary will generate more burglary against burglars themselves, calling this reverse burglary? What do these questions ask of you? How do you answer them? The answers are fundamental and obvious to me, yet it seems so many are unaware of them. Our society is like an alcoholic, and as we know, you cannot help an alcoholic until they admit they are an alcoholic. Is this where we are with issues with diversity, equity, and inclusion? Is it the case that some in our society refuse to admit the failings of our past and present history? Are some in denial about the moral health of our society? No one wants to be called a racist or a bigot or prejudiced, but those who loudly proclaim that they are not, while opposing DEI initiatives, are quite often the very ones who are. It is better not to make such proclamations and simply to work toward eliminating these pernicious attitudes in our society. The reality of a discrimination-free society will never occur if one denies the fact that discrimination exists or has existed, or assert that policies against discrimination create more discrimination. So if you cannot envision a better future or work for that, then you will be complicit with those wrongs perpetrated in the past and by the status quo. The majority of people in this society, I submit, envision that future, that better future. Let us do our part and bring the DEI blueprint into the fold of official college policies. That this has not been done to this point reflects poorly on the board and on the college. The reasons are obscure, but I venture that it may be as simple as fear and a lack of courage to do the right thing. Or it may be a lack of intellectual strength to see through the fallacious reactionary arguments defending the status quo. But I speculate. Please muster your courage and strength to endorse the DEI work blueprint soon. Thank you.
Is it my turn? Hi, everybody. My name is Travis Chopper. I'm a faculty member in the Welding Technology Program. I wanted to share a little bit of good news about the program. The American Welding Society is the professional organization that we use to accredit certified welders and all that kind of stuff. It's a membership of over 70,000 in the U.S. and overseas. Each month, they send out a journal to all 70,000 members. And I wanted to point out in the April journal, there was actually a 4-page article about our welding program and our introduction of augmented reality welding training simulators into our curriculum. And I'd like to also point out that Jan was actually able to come over and take a photo, and one of our actually was on the cover of the World Journal for the American Welding Society. So I think that's a pretty cool promotion for the program as a whole. I just wanted to share that with the board. Thank you.
Do we have any other public comment? Thank you.
Can we get a budget health update? Dr. T, you're going to provide us with that budget health update?
I have asked Mary to do that today since we're
Okay.
getting close to the end of the budget cycle. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mary.
I think maybe he's just tired of talking. That's okay. This month's budget health update carries a lot of the same topics as they have in the previous months. You will notice, though, that the CPPRT projections are down this month, and that's a result of a discussion that was held at the most recent CFO conference. Unfortunately, with the last payment we just received, we will be back to increasing the projected amount next month. If we continue to receive payments similar to last year, we could possibly even exceed the amount of CPPRT revenues of last year. Tuition revenue continues to increase with a heavy onset of summer registration in March. We are projecting that we will be coming in $1.5 million under budget in salaries and benefits. We continue to have full-time position openings that would have been charged to the operations funds if filled. And as of yesterday, we had 10 open full-time positions budgeted in the operations funds alone. And as our team members continue to exercise careful spending on necessities, and with the savings in salaries and benefits, we are still projecting our expenses to come in under budget this year. And while I'm at the microphone, again, I would like to thank everyone for participating in the budget sessions, whether on Zoom or through correspondence today. We shared priorities, and the resulting feedback and comments were appreciated. Future Correspondence will be forthcoming as we move forward on crafting the fiscal year '24 budget, and Dr. Traska will be formally summarizing that tentative budget at next month's meeting, which is June 13th.
An enrollment update?
Dr. Jackson?
Okay. Good evening. Quick enrollment update for summer 2023. Our total head count, we're at 797 currently enrolled for summer. Last year at this time, we were at 740 students enrolled, so it's a 7.7% increase. As the report shows that went out earlier this week, we are showing a decrease in our total head count and total credit hours for our Edwardsville and Nelson campus. However, we are working to get additional courses added. We had one class that is no longer being offered in summer, it's only being offered in fall and spring. So that is one reason why we're seeing a decrease in enrollment there, but we are looking to get some more general education classes that are being offered that were not offered in spring and fall. So hopefully that will offset that decrease that we're seeing. So we continue to work to get our students enrolled and to look at what our needs are and make sure our students have what courses they need for enrollment. Any questions?
Thank you.
Yes. No, Kevin has a question.
I guess it's, I don't know, it's a question, I guess, or are you aware of that the ICCB website is all, the links are all messed up? I tried to use the ICCB website to get some information on it.
I went to the report today. I didn't actually go to the website, but I did go look at the last printed PDF report. But I'll take a look at the links. I haven't looked on there, and it was running last week, but I haven't looked this week on the actual website.
Yeah. I think maybe some links work and some links don't. What I was looking for is, well, among other things, you had mentioned that you thought there was an ICCB report that showed enrollment without the high school partnership numbers.
Yes.
And I wondered if you found that.
So I had asked Dennis Creed, our director, and he had some follow-up questions regarding that. So he's still looking, and he will be providing that information. From the spring 2023 report that I looked at today, it did not include the high school partnership number. So I can forward that over and highlight where they're not included in there.
You're talking about our internal reports?
No, it's from ICCB for the final spring 2023 report.
So you still think there is a report like that somewhere, huh?
It is, yes.
Okay.
I can send it to you.
I guess Dennis Creed was looking for it, or?
Yes, he was looking for it,
Okay.
and he had some follow-up questions when I asked him from last board meeting. So, and he's working on some other data points for me as well, so I will get that information as well. Do you want it sent directly to you, or should it go through Dr. T? All right, thank you.
I don't, probably to the whole board, I suppose, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll get it out to everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
The omnibus agenda.
The omnibus agenda is presented for vote. Is there any item the board would like to be held out and voted separately? I have one on bills I'd like to hold out. If not, I'd like to take a motion to approve the an omnibus agenda excluding E.
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the roll.
McCaig,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes?
Ware,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rust,
Yes?
Trent,
Yes.
Griffin.
Yes.
Do I have a second, a motion to approve item E, bills? So move.
Second.
Discussion?
I was going over our bills from Robin Schwartz, and I noticed a bill for reviewing the economic statement of interest and legal advice. I don't think it's appropriate that we be paying for personal legal advice. It costs us $221.25. I'd like to remove that amount from the bill and then approve the bill. It was Kevin? Well, they charge us $221.25 to answer your question.
I'll be talking to somebody about that.
They might have a payment plan you can work. I don't think it's appropriate, but I'd like to approve that bill minus the $221.25. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor? Or call the roll?
McCaig,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Ware,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rust,
Yes.
Trent.
Under action items, organization restructure.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second. Any discussion? Call for the vote?
McCaig,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Trent. Ware,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rust.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Rank and promotion committee recommendations.
Do I have a motion? A second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote?
McCaig,
Yes.
Trent. Johnson,
Yes.
Rust,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Ware,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wertz.
Yes. Motion approved.
Authorize engaging with District 7 to advance renovation of the basement of the MJCH.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
McCaig,
Yes.
Trent. Griffin,
Yes.
Ware,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rust.
Yes.
Authorize the college president to enter an agreement with health insurance provider or providers, subject to review by our legal counsel.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote?
McCaig,
Yes.
Trent. Griffin,
Yes.
Ware,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rust.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Approval of a separation agreement with an employee of Lewis and Clark Community College.
Do I have a motion to approve a separation agreement with Dr. Cedric Brown and the Board of Trustees of Lewis and Clark Community College?
I make the motion.
Second? Do I have a second? Call for the vote?
McCaig,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Trent. Ware,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rust.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Resolution 23-11, authorizing reduction in force and honorable dismissal of part-time staff.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Call for the vote? Is there any discussion? Excuse me, any discussion? Call for the vote.
McCaig,
Yes.
Ware,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rust,
Yes.
Trent.
Motion passed.
Resolution 23-12, authorizing reduction in force and honorable dismissal of part-time staff.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
McCaig,
Yes.
Trent. Ware,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rust,
Yes.
Griffin.
Yes. Resolution 23-13, authorizing reduction in force and honorable dismissal of full-time staff.
Do I have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
McCaig,
Yes.
Ware,
Yes.
Griffin, Campbell,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rust,
Yes.
Trent.
Resolution 23-14, working cash transfer into the education fund.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
McCaig,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rust,
Yes.
Trent, Griffin, Ware,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wertz.
Yes. Motion passed.
Resolution 23-15, a working cash transfer to operations and maintenance.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
McCaig,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Ware,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Rust,
Yes.
Trent,
Yes.
Griffin.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Resolution 23-16, annual inter-fund transfer.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
McCaig,
Yes.
Rust,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Trent,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Ware,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wertz.
Yes, motion approved.
Fiscal year 2024 budget.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
McCaig,
Yes.
Trent,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rust,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Ware,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wertz.
Yes.
Montessori Children's House Agreement.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
McCaig,
Yes.
Ware,
Yes.
Griffin, Campbell,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rust,
Yes.
Trent.
Yes. Motion approved.
Memorandum of Agreement with Illinois Network for Child Care Resource and Referral Agencies, subset Birth to 5, Illinois.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
McCaig,
Yes.
Trent,
Yes.
Ware,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rust,
Yes.
Griffin.
Yes.
Motion approved.
The lease agreement with Illinois Humanities.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
McCaig,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rust,
Yes.
Trent, Griffin,
Yes.
Ware,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wertz.
Yes, motion approved.
The renewal of Riverbend Growth Association office lease agreement.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
McCaig,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Trent,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Ware,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rust.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Renewal of Pride Incorporated office lease agreement.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
McCaig,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Trent,
Yes.
Ware,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rust.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Renewal of lease agreement with Southern Illinois University at Edwardsville.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
McCaig,
Yes.
Ware,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rust,
Yes.
Trent.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Proposed amendments to Board Policy 203.03.1, Agenda.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call for the vote.
McCaig,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Ware,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Rust,
Yes.
Trent,
Yes.
Griffin.
Motion
Yeah.
approved.
Yes. That's okay. Proposed amendments to Board Policy 209.2, Absence of the President.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
A little bit. A couple of things, just, I guess maybe a wording issue that I can see. There's no way that the president can collaborate with the board without having a meeting, which would, and then it would have to be announced and all that stuff. I'm not sure how that collaboration would work. It seemed to me like collaboration with the chairperson would be adequate. I mean, I don't think, collaborating with the board seems kind of awkward for you, Dr. Traska. And then the other comment that I have is that it seems like it has to be, collaboration is fine, but somebody has to make the final decision, and it would have to be the chairperson, in my mind.
Yeah, I think inherent in that is just, I think in the spirit of my style is just, again, this is really reserved for like long absences, not, which is probably never going to happen. But if there was a situation.
What if you would have went to overseas somewhere?
Well, for like a week, I'll get on the Wi-Fi, I'll get a SIM card or something. But I think it would just be letting the board know, hey, this is what I plan to do. Are there any concerns? And then ultimately talking with Chairman Wertz to confirm that and then move forward. But I think this would be far, far, far few in between, so.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to come up very
Yeah.
often, but it seems to me like it ought to be stated the way it's going to work.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm
Maybe
okay
it's just
with it.
me.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I appreciate your comments, Kevin. The chances of us ever using that, but, I just want him to be able to say, I want to be gone for, I'm going to go to, I won the lottery, I'm going to Israel for a week or whatever. He should pick the person to run the place while he's gone, his second in command, so.
So-
But he needs to do it with the board.
So can we modify it to eliminate in collaboration with the board?
Like just to the president may designate an acting chief executive, is that what you're suggesting?
Yes.
I would agree with that.
I'd ask the attorney, sit between both of you.
I've seen other college policies that have it as the president may designate. That's a permissible authorization, as the president may designate.
Is it like a succession, like a chain of command kind of thing, where like if the number 2 person takes over in the event something would happen to Ken?
Correct, yes.
That's what I've seen as well.
That to me would be the natural state, the natural progress, that just number 2 would take over.
They would know far more about this institution than I think we do.
It seems like he should talk to somebody on the board, though, right? I mean, you're not saying he just decides.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would decide and then just let the board know, hey, I'm going to be gone for
Yeah.
12 days, and
Can we just replace with the board?
let's say the president will
with the
designate
chairman
and will share with the board that decision or something.
And
right?
notify.
Notify.
And notify the board, yeah, before he leaves, right, yeah.
Can we make that change now in the
I
wording?
think so. Are we okay to do that, Sue?
I think you're okay to make an amended
Correct.
motion.
You can yes,
And then
move
act
it.
on that motion.
So amend it and then act on that motion.
Maybe we need to read it, how it would be.
So would it be the president may designate an acting chief executive during any temporary absence from the college campus and notify the board of trustees? I mean, it's just a notification. Or where would you, you're the lawyer, what would be best?
If you're keeping as needed, then I would keep as needed and then comma, and then the part about notifying, and will notify the board of such designation. How about that?
Okay.
I feel I should test this policy now that we've had such robust discussion, so.
Okay, Emily, we've got a motion, but we made a change. What's the procedure that we,
I move we amend.
That motion that way.
I move we amend.
Donna is. I'll second Donna's motion. Do you want me to read it out loud, Sue? This is what I have. In collaboration with the board, oh, that's what we don't want, sorry. The president may designate an acting chief executive during temporary absence from the college campus as needed and will notify the board of trustees of such designation. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
do I have a motion?
We got,
Second?
Yes.
Okay. Any more discussion? Call for the vote.
McCaig? Ware?
Yes.
Griffin?
Yes.
Campbell?
Yes.
Wertz?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Rust?
Yes,
Trent?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Proposed amendments to Board Policy 209.5, Grants, Contracts, and Agreements Approval Authority.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
yeah, I'd like to make a motion to table this. I think I'm not in disagreement with the concept or where this is going, but I think it needs a little work, and I could kind of go through the areas, but I think it also should have something in there about the requirement to obtain bids on items that the state of Illinois doesn't require if it exceeds a certain amount. And I, yeah. Yeah, okay, well, my motion is the table. Do I, no, I think the motion to table takes precedence over the motion. Emily, you want to comment?
I believe Sue's correct, that you have to act on the pending, because the motion's already been made.
That's not what was done in the past. And Dennis was here, Dennis Weidman was here, and he actually said that the motion to table takes precedence over the motion before the board.
Yeah, and then I thought you vote on the motion to table, and if everybody votes no, don't table, then you proceed with the motion as stated. That's what I thought, but I'm not an expert.
Can you say what you're proposing again? Trustee Rust? Can you restate your proposal? You're wanting to?
Yeah, well, first of all, my motion is very simple, and my motion is just to table this resolution. But my comments, I guess I should cover some of those. I don't know, in the first sentence it says, assigns to the college president the authority to negotiate, and it's instead of using conduct negotiations, and I don't see I don't understand why if there's a difference. It doesn't seem like there is a difference.
Maybe there should just be a separate policy that relates to bids. I mean, if
No,
that
no,
is-
I'm just talking, you
Okay.
have it in front of you
Yeah,
there?
yeah, I have it.
I'm talking in the first sentence. It seems like we're making a change for no reason, but maybe there is a reason, and I'm just not aware of it. Why are we changing it from conduct negotiations to negotiate?
I think that's the same thing.
That's what I think,
parlance,
that's my point, it's the same thing, so why are
But
we
I think
changing
it's just
it?
to tighten it up a little bit. That's yeah. I mean, like, if we're going to update a policy, why not look at tightening the language up without changing the meaning? So I think
Okay,
that's
well, I mean,
nuanced, yeah.
It doesn't seem to me like it has any impact, so like I would agree with you.
Shall we go back and, do we need a second? I think she's researching. We need a second to table it and then vote to table it? Okay, do we have a second to table it? Okay, I'm going to say the motion failed
Okay.
for a second. And now
I didn't,
go back and discuss.
Can I finish making my comments?
Yeah, so now you can
I'm sorry,
discuss.
thought you were done.
Okay,
Discuss the-
so, okay.
No. So
No.
now we're discussing the original motion.
No, we seem to be in a big hurry to pass these policy changes, which are fine, except I don't think we're ready for this one yet. I don't think we're ready to vote on this one yet. And maybe we should, I think you were like Dr. Trask was saying there, I think maybe we should just have a separate policy for bidding on
Yeah.
some of those other things. So that would kind of negate one of my comments. And
Because I think originally this was 5,000, wasn't it? And then you all changed it to 15 by my request in 21?
yeah,
Before me? Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah,
I don't think. Yeah. Yeah. It never was 5,000, was it?
I don't know, yeah.
Yes, it was. This goes back to what it was, Kevin, in 2019.
Just following state,
Yeah.
just state
Right.
policy.
Right.
So if state policy changes, we don't have to come back to the board, it's just inherent. And if state policy goes to 30, then it would just be, 30.
Right. So, and now, I guess my own, excuse me, my other comment was, or something I noticed that to me it doesn't seem right, is that the sentence that starts out, all contracts not exceeding 15,000, why is that completely deleted? It should, to me, should say all contracts, it should be included, and it should say all contracts not exceeding the amount allowed by state law and entered into without prior board approval, together with an explanation thereof, shall be submitted to the board at the next meeting following execution or ratification. If we don't have that in there, how does the board ever become aware of that contract?
Yeah, we still bring all contracts to the board, it's just, you still have.
No, wait, I'm getting, yeah, let me,
It's inherent, if it's over the limit, it's automatically going to come to the board.
yes, I agree. This is talking about if it's not if it's not exceeding the state, in other words, $25,000. If it's not, if it's less than 25,000, it's, it's done, it's executed. But if you strike this out, then it's never brought before the board.
So the ones that have been on the list for contracts 15,000 and less have been all the contracts with, and it's just been in name only, like the contracts for student sites, clinical sites, and all those kinds of contracts. $5,000 contracts for fulfilling a grant agreement. Those kinds of things is what's on the 15,000 or less. So would the board want to see the names of all the contracts of 25,000 and less, is what the question would be then?
Well, and right now the board sees everything that's 15,000 and less, right?
Just in name only. Just a list of the names of the agencies.
Not the amounts, because it's less, you would know that those names are contracts less than 15,000. So now.
Right, but
Now
I thought
under-
it did,
yeah.
I thought it did show the amounts, because I can remember. It does show.
Only, it shows the amounts, but only the names. The contracts that
Only
are.
the, not all the documentation.
Yes,
just-
not all the
Just
documentation.
the name of who we're contracting with and the amount.
So right now, it's going, everything 15,000 and over, the board sees all the contract language.
Right.
15,000 and less, just the name and the amount and what the purpose is.
So I guess.
So the question is, does the board want to see the name, the amount, and the purpose, and the funding source for everything 25,000 and less? That would be the reason to put that in there.
Well, it confuses me a little bit. I think we want to see everything that we see now for contracts under 15,000, only now we're changing it to under 25,000. Is that right? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it'd be, yeah. So it's no difference. It's just changing the dollar amount. But by striking this sentence here, it's changing it. It's deleting that. Right. And I don't think we want to delete it. I mean. Yeah.
I'm calling for the vote.
McCaig,
Yes.
Campbell,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Ware,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
excuse me, Johnson,
Yes.
Rust,
No?
Trent,
Motion approved.
Information items.
Dr. Trask, is there anything you'd like to highlight in this information items?
Actually, not necessarily, but if there's any questions you have based on what's in the board book, please let us know, and we'll have that addressed. Try to make those items pretty straightforward. And
Leadership team reports.
so that would just be me.
That's you.
So I'm going to keep it brief and just highlight a couple of things coming up. Well, first and foremost, I mean, this is technically our last board meeting before the end of the semester, so I did want to thank our campus team, our faculty in particular, who will be off over the summer for their great work this semester. Next week, on Wednesday, we celebrate graduation, so kind of, the day we all sort of look forward to. And so don't forget that next Wednesday. Next Monday is our first annual, and we're going to do this every year, like the second Monday of May, sort of the State of Trailblazer Nation. So I'll share with the campus team and the community kind of a check-in with our performance, particularly focused on our 4 key directions. So we're looking forward to that. So that'll be the first annual one. That's next Monday. Also found out today I'm invited to speak in Jerseyville. I think it's next Tuesday. So next week's going to be a bit crazy. Monday is Trailblazer Nation. Tuesday, there's a workforce event with the governor in Jerseyville, and I've been asked to speak on workforce development. So I'll be preparing comments for that, and of course linking that to some of the programs that we're doing, particularly related to how we're aligning access to workforce and into our programs. So looking forward to that opportunity and appreciate the invitation. Dr. Swinski, Mike Lemon, myself finished a visit to Nicolet College and actually also hopped up to my old stomping ground to visit the welding programs there. Nicolet has a very sophisticated welding program where they've done amazing work around competency-based education. So we looked at that best practice in order to help enhance the really good work that's happening here, but what are some ways in which we can improve everything from scheduling to assessment, et cetera. So, and that trip was actually supported through a ICCB grant that the college earned for actually being a CBE mentor late last year. So we're really happy, actually really happy with the outcomes. Anytime you do those visits, you're sort of like, okay, hopefully this yields something really good, and it really did. Today we hosted our all-team meeting. We do this every board meeting day, and today I shared the results of our culture survey with the team. This year's results will be our benchmarks going forward. I've also shared that with the board, and I have that on our June 6th board retreat to talk a little bit more in detail around what the data is showing and some ideas and perspective that we have as an executive team to continue to build our culture in a positive direction. Tomorrow, we'll be hosting a strategic planning refresh retreat with our key direction leads and other members of our campus team to look at resetting our goals and aspirations for fiscal year 24. Once that's fleshed out, I'll be sharing that in draft form with the board to receive your feedback, and also be sending that to our campus team to receive their feedback. We're anticipated to bring a refreshed strategic plan to the board at our July board meeting, which we do on an annual basis. So essentially, our strategic plan is a 3-year rolling plan. So each year we evaluate progress, we reset goals, and bring that refresh to the board so that you are always having that in front of you. And as you all know, and Mary mentioned, we're sort of getting close to the end of our budget planning cycle, and I also want to just extend thank yous to the board members who have participated in our sessions, and of course, all of you have been involved in receiving our updates, and so thank you for the feedback you've shared in email, as well as verbally, either yesterday or today. But again, want to thank the team for the great work. I appreciate you as a board really taking an objective look at all the work that goes into putting this board book together. Several of you have commented. There's a lot of heavy lifting that I know is happening on campus, and I just appreciate the support, the confidence, and the commitment to continue to move Lewis and Clark forward. So thank you, and that concludes my comments.
Being no further business, this meeting is declared adjourned. Thank you.